Hi guys, how's it going this afternoon? Hope you're all well. Welcome to everyone here with me now. Welcome to anyone who's watching the replay as well. Yeah. Oh, the rain is back. The sunshine was short-lived. We have a very wet day today, which is a bit depressing, but hey ho. Today we are talking about pronunciation. So I'm going to share. Okay, so we're doing a pronunciation challenge today with what we call minimal pairs. So these are words that have just one sound that's different. So can you hear the difference between ship and sheep? How about safe and save? Because it's not just vowel sounds that cause these challenges for learners, it's also consonants as well. So, hi guys, Gianfranco, hello. Pavan, nice to see you here. Yeah, so we've got the short and the long vowels. Today you are going to test your ears, the fun challenge. Can you hear the difference? Let's find out. Helen, hello, from LA, nice. I feel like it's probably warm there. It's not cold exactly here, but it's always colder indoors when it rains outside because the insulation isn't very good. So I've had my heating blasting this morning. Right, are you ready? The first pair of vowel sounds we're going to talk about today is the ah, like in hat, and the like in hut. So ah. Early morning now. Yeah, it's 3:30 in the afternoon here now. Just to point something out about that, which I discovered recently. I don't usually do this, but I got caught doom scrolling on Instagram. Normally when I'm on Instagram or TikTok, I just post my own content and then I get off the app. But I got stuck scrolling and I saw a video about telling time and the difference between US and UK sort of ways of doing things. And I didn't know, but apparently saying the time as, for example, like now is 3:30. I'm told that this is not normal in the United States. So this, it seems, is a British thing. So we leave out the past. We don't bother saying 3:30, just 3:30. And the man who had made the Instagram reel was a North American, and he was saying to him, 3:30 seems like it should actually be 2:30, which I don't really understand the logic there, but there you go. There you go. Or 3:30, rather, not 2:30, but more like sort of 1:30, I think was what he was getting at. So, yeah. Italy, nice. You're on the same time zone as me in Spain. Cool. A friend of mine is in Italy right now. He's in, where is he? He is in Sicily. He was in Reggio de Calabria, I think, and now he's over on the other side. So in Sicily now. And he just messaged me pictures of his food. He's like, we need to move to Sicily, were his exact words. Okay, so let's talk about this. So we have cat with the ah, cat. And cut, cut. So these sounds are very similar. There's a difference in the shape of the mouth. So if we're talking about the animal cat, you see the mouth is like cat. Cut, on the other hand, cut. It's less smiley, but more of a depressed look on the face. Cut. Cat, cut. So I'm going to say one of those words, either cat or cut, and I want you to put in the chat the word that you hear. Okay. Cut. 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 Cool. Okay, so we've got 2 responses so far, and you both agree. Yeah. Cut is correct. Cool. Okay, we're going to have, if you can't hear the difference, I just want to point out that most of the time, it's going to be clear from the context. So it's not usually a big deal if you can't detect the difference or if you get it wrong when you're saying it yourself, because it's not that often that people just say one word, floating around by itself. It's normally part of a sentence. You've usually got context. So, for example, with these 2 sentences, the paper in half, when I was a kid, I had a, what do you think? How would you complete these sentences? Again, pop your answers in the chat. Cool. Yeah. Exactly. Cut the paper in half. We don't say cat the paper in half. It doesn't make any sense. Or when I was a kid, I had a cut. You could say that. But again, it's not very likely. When I was a kid, I had many cuts. Many times would have fallen over in the garden or playing basketball or whatever. So, so it would be an odd thing to say. When I was a kid, I had a cut, as if I had only one in my childhood. So, generally speaking, we can get it from context. Let's have another one. So we've got hut this time with the sound, hut. And hat. So again, the mouth, hut, hut, hat, hat. The sort of wider thing going on there. So tell me, to remember which one I'm going to do. Okay, which word can you hear? Hat. 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 Cool. Yeah. Hat is right. Okay, cool. So far, at least those of you who've entered in the chat have had no problems with the and We're going to move on in a sec to a different sound. I just want to show you again from the context. Let's stay in a on the beach, and there isn't a in the world that looks good on me. What do you think? Like, even if someone said the word and you couldn't hear the difference, I think you can tell by the context here which would be correct. Yeah. Hut on the beach. Yeah, because you're not going to stay in a hat on the beach, I don't think. I mean, that would be weird. And we don't wear huts, do we? So we've got hut and hat. Hot is another one. Yeah, hot. Oh. So again, we have a different mouth position there. Hot. Oh. So the mouth kind of comes into a bit of a pout. Hot. Hot. Now we're going to move on to the sound that really gets a lot of people, and that is the I and E. So I as in ship and E as in sheep. So again, we've got a different mouth position going on here. So I. There's a slight widening of the mouth, but E is a very smiley sound. You know, you got E, the mouth comes out quite wide. Oh, thank you. That is kind. I try. I don't know if it's so much talent as just years of practice, years of training. In my first year of teaching, because the English teaching course to teach English as a foreign language is quite short. You can't learn that much during the course. The first year of teaching afterwards is where you really have to almost teach yourself before you can teach other people. So yeah, that was a long time ago now. 14 years, I think, I've been teaching now. So let's get back to this. So we've got ship and sheep. Ship, sheep. Now, which one can you hear? Ready? Sheep. 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 Nice. Yeah, you guys are good. Sheep. So, and again, you know, usually you can tell from context. So there is what makes more sense here? What do we have in the harbour? And what do we have in the field? Yeah, of course. Yeah, there's a ship in the harbour. You could have a sheep in the harbour, but it would be a little bit strange, wouldn't it? And there are a lot of sheep in the field. This is sheep is the plural as well as the singular, by the way. One sheep, two sheep, not sheeps. So we're going to have another one now. Pitch. Pitch, football pitch. So again, this is British English. If you were in the USA, this would be a soccer field. So I recently posted a short video here on YouTube, but also on Instagram and TikTok about the difference between a court, a pitch, and a field. I think when talking about sports, and a US English teacher commented that pitch really isn't a thing there. They don't use pitch. In fact, it was new for her. So yeah, pitch is an English thing. Pitch and peach. Yeah, exactly. Pitch and peach. So again, which word can you hear? Peach. 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 Okay, so a bit of disagreement here. Hideaki, you've changed your mind. I'm going to say it one more time. Peach. Yeah. Peach is correct. peach. And again, context is everything. What a delicious, juicy pitch or peach. And let's meet on the football. I don't know about you, but I love peaches. They are one of my favorite fruits. Yeah. Yes. Juicy peach. Yum. Juicy, in case you haven't heard that before, juicy is an adjective. So we have juice, like orange juice, which is pronounced orange, not orange, orange juice. So juice is the noun, juicy is the adjective. Eugene, hello. Oh my goodness. Wow. I woke up at 7:30 today. That's fairly standard for me. So we're going to have another pair here. Beach and bitch, which I don't like to use any kind of bad language in my videos because I want them to be, family friendly and also to be able to monetize them. But this word, I think this word is okay. It is actually literally a female dog is a bitch. So doggy people who are into dogs would use that word. And also, a lot of people have the wrong idea about this word. A bitch is a girl. It's almost always applied to a girl who is not very nice. So in the picture there, you can see the girl. She's whispering. She's probably saying horrible things about another girl who's over there somewhere. So she's not very nice. She's being a bitch. It's also a verb, to bitch, stop bitching. It means like to complain in that context. So just pop that in the chat. Informal. Very common in the UK at least. Very, very common. And the adjective is bitchy. So we have beach with our long E and bitch with the short I. Okay. Which word can you hear? Bitch. 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 One more time. Bitch. Does nobody want to write this in the chat? Well, I'll tell you. Bitch. So people often worry about getting these mixed up and causing offense. But again, from the context, you're not going to offend anyone. It would only be offensive if you were talking to someone and you said to them, you bitch, which would be obvious because you would never say to somebody in anger, you beach. Like you just wouldn't call someone a beach. It doesn't make any sense. So from context, I haven't been to that for ages and you're bitching, but you're not a... So this, just to let you know, this word, this is a US English word, and it's like saying awesome. Yeah. So I haven't been to the beach for ages. And again, you would never say bitch in this case. You don't go to the bitch. Doesn't make sense. You're bitching, but you're not a bitch. So you're awesome. You're not horrible. This is a quote from Donnie Darko, which is a film that I love, old school sci-fi film with Jake Gyllenhaal and Maggie Gyllenhaal too, actually, the brother and sister. Oh, have you ever? So with have you ever, we need to use, because we're in the present perfect tense, we need to use the past participle. So present perfect, have or has, plus verb 3, which is the past participle there. So bitch is a regular verb. So it has an ed ending in the past, bitched. Have you ever bitched with your pupils? No, never. I have a good relationship with my pupils, with my students. And just to sort of point out the preposition there, if you bitch with someone, then the two of you are complaining together about something else. So maybe like if I'm with my friends and it's raining, we might bitch about the weather. We might complain about the weather. So sort of bitch with each other about the weather. So we use about to talk about the thing. Just like with complain, you complain about something. So you bitch about something. Yep. Okay. So let's have next one. Fill. Fill. And feel. Fill, short I, feel, long E. So we've got a few for the I and E sound because they're often quite challenging. This is the last one, and then we'll move on to a different pair of sounds. So, which word can you hear? Fill. 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 Cool, cool. Yes, fill, the short I. And again, this would be clear from the context. So how soft the material is. I mean, there we've got feel as in the context of feelings, like to feel good. But we also have feel as in touch. And yeah, exactly. Feel how soft the material is. Fill the glass with water. It doesn't make sense in the other way. Fell, yes, that would also be confusing. Perhaps fill, fell. I and often confused. I, fill, fell. So that's sort of fill, fell, fe. With the you open your mouth, your bottom jaw drops slightly. Fe, fell, fell. That doesn't happen with fill, fell. So there's a difference in the jaw. So if you're practicing these two sounds, then that's, stand in front of a mirror, look at your face. Yeah, that's what I would do. Cool. So now we're going to talk about this and oo sound. Thank you. And oo. So we've got pull, pull, And pool, pool. So let's have a look at the face again. Pull, pull, p, So the mouth is sort of, it's not really in any position at all with pull, p, 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 I suppose the mouth is slightly pouty, and then pool, ooh, pool. We've got a much more of a pout happening, pool. So again, different facial expression. Okay. Tell me, which word can you hear? Pull. 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 Nice. Yeah. Pull it is, yes. So you guys are good at this. Pull me up and pull me down. Yeah, pull me up. That makes me think of climbing. I remember once, years ago, in Thailand, my friend Esther and I had gone on this kayaking trip, and we kayaked to an island, and then we decided to go off for a walk into the jungle, and which was silly of us because we were dressed for the beach, so we were wearing bikinis, and we didn't even have anything on our feet. We were barefoot, but we decided to go anyway, walking in the jungle. And there was a part where it's because we'd heard there was a cave. We wanted to find the cave, and there was a part where it was so steep that there was someone had set a rope so that you could pull yourself up. And I remember I couldn't even reach the rope because I'm not very tall. So my friend who was ahead of me had to pull me up that bit. Crazy. We did get to the cave in the end. It was very cool. Right. Let's have another. Well, first let's look at them in context. So there's a in the garden and the handle to open the door. So I think, again, you'll agree that from the context, it's clear. Yeah. There's a pool in the garden. Pull the handle to open the door. So even if you hear pull the handle, it doesn't make sense. So your brain would sort of tell you that actually that is pull, not pull. So, yeah. One more for this sound. So we have full and fool. Full, fool. So a fool is a stupid person, basically. A full fool. Yeah, you could have that because full is an adjective that we use when we've eaten too much or when we've eaten enough. So I'm full. If we've eaten too much, then we say stuffed. I'm absolutely stuffed. Or full to the brim, which means that the brim is like the top, so you are completely full. Okay, so what can you hear? Which word can you hear? Full. 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 Yes. Cool, cool. And then we've got them in context. Don't be a. And so. After this, we're going to move on to the consonant sounds, which is I think, more difficult, but maybe you'll prove me wrong. Yeah. Don't be a fool. I'm so full. Not actually very full today. I've had just a load of fruit for lunch, so not that filling, really. Okay, now we're going to talk about f and v. So these two sounds, I have a video on this actually already, but these two sounds, you have the same mouth position for both. So let's just make someone a fool. Yeah. Make someone a fool, or also make a fool of someone. Don't make a fool of me. Yeah, indeed. So I'm just going to pop this up here. So we got in English pronunciation, if you've ever looked at a phonemic chart, you'll see that the words are organized, or rather the sounds, not the words, the sounds are organized in pairs. Th and v are a pair, and they're formed with the same mouth position. The thing that is different is that f is unvoiced, which means that we make the sound by blowing air through our teeth, basically. F, f, out comes the air. But v, we get the vocal cords involved. So v, if you put your hand on your throat and you say f, you shouldn't feel a vibration. And if you say v, you should feel it there vibrating. So, yep. No vibration, f, just air. Vibration, v. Vocal cords are involved. So, let's go back to our presentation. Alrighty, so we've got fan. Both of these things are called a fan. It's also a verb, to fan yourself. If you're too hot, fan yourself. Although my little brother would tell me not to do that. He says that if you fan yourself like this, waving your hands, you actually are making yourself hotter because you're expending energy. There is logic to that. It makes sense to me. So we've got fan and van. Fan and van. So listen carefully and put in the chat the one that you can hear. Fan. 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 Cool. Yes, you guys are right. Fan. And again, if you find it difficult to make the sound, because it's one thing hearing it, but making the sound can also be problematic. Again, it's usually going to be clear from the context. Now, in this case, this is only clear if you know which verb goes with which. So turn on the please, and start the, what are we saying here? Which one is fan and which one is van? Oh. Yeah, you guys are good. Turn on the fan. We don't say turn on the van and start the van. So start the van. Reduce the fan's speed to 3. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know about you, but I am not a fan of air conditioning, which we often shorten to AC. I don't like AC. I prefer to use a fan. So we're going to have one more for the f and v sounds. Safe and save. Safe and save. So, both words have more than one meaning. A safe is the box in the hotel where you store your valuable possessions. And it's also an adjective, be safe, not in danger. And then save, with the voiced v, save money. And you can also save somebody, rescue them from danger. Oh, cool. Yeah. Often it depends on your native language, which of these sounds you find more challenging, I think. So, which word can you hear? Save. 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 So, difference of opinion this time. One more time. Save. Hideaki, you've changed your mind. You are right to change your mind. Save, yeah. Save. That, the object there in the picture, by the way, is called a piggy bank. For those who don't know, piggy bank. Piggy is like the sort of diminutive way of referring to a pig, like little piggy. It's kind of what a kid would say. So, and again, from the context, it would be clear you've got it's important for the future and put the money in the yes, exactly. Yeah. So the first one, save with the verb, it's important to save for the future and then put the money in the safe. The second sentence, we know that we need a noun because we have the in the safe. So you could say save money or put the money in a savings account, but not put it in the save. So put it in the safe, being the box, the square box. He saved $2,000 and he saved my life. Yes, yeah, so save as a verb, more than one use. Okay. Now, this is our final sound, I believe. Just checking my notes. Yes, it is. Safety place. So rather than safety place, we would say safe place. Hello. Full moon. Is that Jenny? Late today. No worries. No worries. Life gets in the way, doesn't it? Yeah. So safety, rather than safety place, would be a safe place. Safety is a noun rather than an adjective. Of course, we do sometimes use nouns as adjectives. So, okay, are you ready for the last sound? So this is the s and th. And just like f and v, what we have here is voiced and unvoiced. So, s, s. We're just puffing out air here. There's no voice involved, but z, z. we're voicing. So again, if you put your hand here, z, z, you'll feel the vibration with the z sound. Yeah, the schwa, that is something else. The schwa, maybe next week or the week after we'll have a session on the schwa, because that is the most important sound in the English language. It's the most common sound in the English language, particularly in British English, or, well, in received pronunciation, which is one of many British Englishes. Yeah, the schwa is the sound of unstressed vowels, like it is the in the. Or, for example, in the word banana, the emphasis is on the second syllable, banana, and the unstressed syllables are pronounced as schwas, banana. Very common sound in English. Very important. If you want to master English pronunciation, and not just for speaking, actually, for listening comprehension, it is so important for listening comprehension, because English is full of weak sounds. And this is why you struggle to understand native speakers, because of all the schwas, all the weak sounds. So yeah, we'll definitely do that. I don't know, we can do it next week, or if you'd rather have a change from pronunciation, we can do it the week after. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. So yeah, you're welcome. Closed clothes, yeah. The and the, indeed. The government does not care about women's safety. The government don't care about women's safety. Yeah. That's another interesting topic. Nouns like government, family, team, nouns that refer to groups of people, depending on the context, they can be singular or plural. So I would say in this case, the government doesn't care, rather than the government don't care. I would refer to it as one collective entity. There, just to put that up there. Lunch, no, but launch with or, launch. Yeah, or. And again, you've got a different mouth position there. Lunch, launch, or the longer vowel sound. I digress. I've wandered off the topic. So let's go back to our s and z sounds. Now, in this case, so we've got close and the same word, close. So the spelling is exactly the same. It's the same word, but the pronunciation is different. So close with this unvoiced, and close with our voiced z sound. Close the door. Close the door. Now, tell me, which word can you hear? Close. 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 Yes, you're going to have to give me some context here to know whether you're right. So, Hideaki, close the door or close, verb or adjective? Nice, yeah. Okay, so what do you think? Perhaps, yeah, that's a good idea. Put either the S or the Z, the S or the Z in the chat. Close. Close. Interesting. Okay, so in this case, I was saying close. with a z sound. Close. Okay, interesting. So this sound causes more difficulty. I'm going to give you a tip regarding this. So when they appear at the end of a word, yes. So for example, all the words I'm going to show you now can be pronounced with either a s or a z sound, and they have a different meaning. So use or use, close or close, excuse, excuse, house, house, abuse, abuse. So when we've got the s sound, we've got an adjective or a noun. So use, close. Hi, Mohammed. Excuse. Don't make excuses. House. That's my house. Abuse. Child abuse is a terrible thing. So, yeah, whenever you've got this sound, it's going to be usually a noun, sometimes an adjective. The z pronunciation, you've got a verb. Use the pen, close the door, excuse me. There are many people in England that need to be housed. Don't abuse your authority. Yeah, so we've got a Z, we have got a verb. Close, closed, yeah. So regular, in fact, used, closed, excused, housed, abused, all of these are regular verbs, all of them. So what do you think? My brothers and I are very... And could you... The window, please? So which one is the verb? Which one is the adjective? Yeah. Exactly. We're very close. Close, this is like a B. Close the window, please. So I have one more, and that is use and use. So mobile phone use, for example, is not permitted in this picture. And this person is using their mobile phone. Which word can you hear? Use. 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 Okay, so a bit of disagreement again here. This time, the verb again, the z, use. So use, the first one, use with this, use, 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 use. Yeah. So, and again, I have no for a car because I don't have a license. True story. Can I your phone to send a text? Yeah. Which one is the noun and which one is the verb? Yeah. No use for it. Can I use your phone? So, and again, I think, we've sort of shown fairly clearly that even if you get the pronunciation wrong, your meaning will still be clear from the context 99% of the time. So it's not something to stress about, to worry about. But yeah, it's interesting. It's one of these things, I guess, like the more you practice it. There's no use of tanks in the modern era. No, I suppose not, since we have drones now. Yep. Cool. Okay, so that is the last one today. We've had a request for a lesson on the schwa, which is a good idea, so we'll definitely do that. Feel free, anyone else, if you have a request, a particular topic that you'd like me to cover in a live stream or just a video, then let me know. Yeah, so we've got a couple of good example sentences here. There's no use of tanks in the modern era. I would say rather than of, I'd say for. There's no use for tanks. It's not allowed to use mobiles in class. If only that were true. I think a lot of schools do let students use mobiles in class. When I worked in an academy, I used to confiscate them. I would take them away. So, well, I didn't exactly confiscate them. I had a box. When the students came into the classroom, it's like, right, phones in the box, and then the box would go on the shelf. So the students could see the mobile phone. They weren't worrying about where the phone was. They could still see it. Another video. So Gianfranco, which one's the consonant sounds? Yeah, I have to do that for sure. Interesting. The d and the th. I mean, there are so many of these minimal pairs. So how do I say this? How do I say your name? I want to say Maserian. There it is. Tell me, if you put the phonetic pronunciation in the chat so that I don't butcher your name in the future. Excuse me. Advanced grammar class, Dan. Yeah, actually, I'm planning on doing some advanced grammar videos in the near future. A couple of ideas that I've got. Cool. Bottle and battle. Aha, yes. Cherry. Okay. Cool. Thank you. Oh dear. It's one of these things, when people write in the chat and I don't know how to pronounce their name, I always feel anxious. Well, you just have to get it wrong, don't you? And then ask to be corrected and hope that the person will actually correct you. I've had students before who tell me, yes, that's correct. And then I hear another person say their name, like in a face-to-face scenario. And I realize I'm like, it's not correct. I've been saying it very, very wrong. Cool. Okay. So I'm just going to whack that up again there. Thank you very much to everyone for joining me today. Thank you to anyone watching the replay. Thank you to my channel members for sort of putting your money where your mouth is and supporting me that way. And yeah, big love to everybody. Have a great rest of the day. Do I meditate? No. I was just talking about this yesterday with a student. There's a technique called I think it's 4-7-8 breathing. This is something I used to do. So you inhale for 4, you hold for 7, and you exhale for 8. And it's very good for you, apparently. So in for 4, hold for 7, out for 8. So if you want to try a fast meditation technique, if you don't have time, to spend a lot of time on it, try that. I'm going to start doing it again. I don't know why I ever stopped. So no, I don't meditate, but I'm just a very calm person. My mum used to say, "You're so laid back, you're horizontal." Too laid back sometimes. Just a freelancer nowadays. Just a freelancer. Yeah, if you're interested in private lessons, by the way, I teach one-to-one classes online. You can email me. Just put my email address in the chat. Or there's a form you can fill in if you want me to contact you, which is on my website, englishwithm.com. So yeah, if you're interested in one-to-one online classes, then feel free to get in touch. Oh, thank you. Bless you. No, I'm not in the UK. I'm in Spain. Yeah, I'll be in the UK for a while during summer, but I live in Spain. It's my home. Been here for a long time. Sadly, my Spanish does not really reflect that, because I did study for a couple of months in Buenos Aires in Argentina many years ago. I don't study formally, although I have just discovered quite a good app with AI, which I started using to practice speaking. What is it called? Let me find it and I'll tell you. Ling Chat. I've only used it for Spanish. I haven't used it for English. But if you want to practice speaking, try it. I'd be interested to hear what you think about it. So, yeah, I have been to Italy, yes. Quite a long time ago now. I think it was 2009 with a friend of mine, Danielle. Danielle is from Canada but lives in Texas, and she had come over to Europe for the weekend, and she messaged me. She's like, "Hey girl, I'm in Italy. Why don't you come and see me?" And I just happened to have some time off work, so I said, "Hey, why not?" And I went and spent 4 days in Italy with her. I went to Rome, Florence, Siena, and Pisa. So four places in 4 days. It was very quick, what we call a whistle-stop tour, which I've mistyped. Whistle-stop tour. Yeah. So it wasn't long enough. I'd like to go back and spend more time in each place, ideally. One of my students lives in Tuscany. Well, he's international. He's from Argentina, also lives mostly between Uruguay and Italy. So he's in Tuscany at the moment. Would love to go back. Yeah. I bought this beautiful leather suitcase when I was in Florence, actually. So beautiful. So not practical. I mean, if you can imagine a leather suitcase, so I'll put that in the chat so you know what I'm talking about. A leather suitcase. I would show it to you, but it's in that room, actually. So heavy, though. So heavy. So if you're flying and the weight, you got your weight restriction on your luggage. So a leather suitcase was not a practical purchase. But I bought it from some guy in the street, quite cheap. And then I saw it in the same case in a shop window, considerably more expensive. So I think that the one I bought probably came off the back of a lorry. Yeah, I probably shouldn't have bought it, but hey ho, I've still got it. Yes. Yeah. My mum loves Italy. She speaks Italian, actually, her and her husband, and they go there often. It's their sort of their love. I'd say sort of Spanish through and through, really. I've been here for so long, but that's not really true. I'm still very English. Still very English, like a hybrid. I've adopted a lot of Spanish ways. Yeah. Yes, yeah, I did find that to be true. Right. As you can probably tell, I could chat to you all day, but I'm sure you've got things to do. So I actually normally have another class at this time, but my student is not very well today. So what motivates you to become an educator? I'll tell you the story. I studied, I had just finished doing a master's degree in criminology, which I'm very interested in. And then, just as I was finishing up my master's degree, that was back in 2008, and we had the financial crisis happened. So, thank you. And I couldn't find a job. I was working in Sainsbury's in the supermarket, which I did part-time while I was doing my master's degree. And I used to work on the customer service desk. And so I had control of the tannoy, the speaker. I was the person in the supermarket that made the announcements. People used to come and say to me, "Oh, I love your tannoy voice. I love your announcements," which I always found quite funny. So, yeah, I couldn't get a job. The job that I wanted when the crisis happened, that job was no longer available. They weren't hiring anymore. So after a year working full-time in the supermarket with my fabulous master's degree, my mum said, because I said, I need to do something else. I'm going mad. I feel like my brain is dribbling out of my ear. And she said, well, you love English and you love traveling. Why don't you teach English somewhere? So I thought, actually, that's not a bad idea. And I decided to do the course to become an English teacher. And I did it and was actually surprised. I remember coming home on the train one day because the course was in London and I went by train, and I was coming home on the train and I was smiling, and I thought, why are you smiling? And suddenly I thought, yeah, because teaching makes me happy. I'm really enjoying this course. And then 2 weeks after I finished the course, I moved to Indonesia and I lived there for a year teaching, and then I never stopped. So it was my intention to do it short term and then return to criminology, in which I have my master's degree. But I found that I loved teaching English. And so, yeah, I just continued. And that was back in 2010. So I've been teaching ever since then. And yeah, I like it. So, yeah, I feel... Am I a fan of slasher films? Yes, I am. I love horror. There's a limit, though, to how much I love horror. When I was younger, I didn't care how gory or disgusting something was. And nowadays, I'm a bit more... Here's a lovely adjective for you. Squeamish. Yeah, a bit more squeamish. I'm a bit more like, if something's really disgusting, then I don't really want to see it. But yeah, I like bad horror. Horror that's like so bad that it's funny. Would I encourage someone to fly to the UK for work? It completely depends on the work in question. If you can do a job that has a high salary, yes, 100%. For a job that does not pay very well, no, because the cost of living crisis at the moment is a problem. In fact, in the newspapers at the moment, they have christened this month Awful April. So I don't know if you know, like awful. Awful is an extreme adjective. If something is awful, it is really bad. And the reason they're saying that, excuse me, the reason they're calling this month Awful April is because a lot of the household bills have just increased. So people now are paying more for gas, electricity, water, council tax, which is this horrible tax that you have to pay in England. And a lot of people are discovering now, yes, exactly, awful is like horrible. Yep. A lot of people are discovering now that they don't have enough money. They can't afford, the basics. So would I encourage someone to move to England for work right now? Not unless it was for a high-paying job. No. Mm-mm. Do I speak Spanish? Yes. Badly. I don't practice enough because I'm always working. I spend all my time sitting in front of the computer working, and yeah, I don't. Of course, at work I speak English, with my students, but I read novels in Spanish. I watch TV in Spanish. Yeah, use the app that I mentioned earlier in Spanish. My favorite horror film? Good question. A couple of days ago, I watched that old Tarantino, I think it was Robert Rodriguez, actually, From Dusk Till Dawn. I enjoy that. Would you call that horror? I suppose so. It has vampires in it. So I like that one. I like the version of Frankenstein with Robert De Niro. I think that's good. I think that's a good one. I find it ever so sad, especially there's a part at the end where, because Frankenstein was actually the doctor, and I think the monster that nowadays people call Frankenstein, but he's not, he's Frankenstein's monster. He says, what's your name? And he says, he never gave me a name. And something about that that's just really sad. The latest Hugh Grant film, what is it? I'll have to check it out. Hugh Grant, yeah. I like him. The Nun 2, I haven't seen that. There's a fabulous film which, where is this film from? Is it Japanese, I think? There's a film called Battle Royale, which is fabulous. Again, would you call it horror? I don't know. A bunch of kids shipped off to an island and they have to kill each other, and they're given weapons, but the weapons aren't distributed fairly. Like one kid might have a gun and another kid has a frying pan. So it's not very fair, but that's a fabulous film. Yeah, Japanese, they know how to do horror. And the French as well, French horror films. Oh my goodness. There was one I don't know that I'd call it the best. I would never ever watch it again. In fact, I wish I hadn't watched it because it's the only horror film I've ever seen that I would say got into my head and disturbed me. It was what's it called? Martyrs. French horror. Not for the squeamish, extremely disturbing. I had to keep watching it because I wanted to know how it ended. I wanted to know why. Why are they doing this? So, have I seen The Exorcist? Yes, I have. I didn't think it was very good. Not my cup of tea. I'm not really into horror that's like kind of supernatural horror. It's not my thing. Not my cup of tea. I like the sort of horror films, like Jason, Friday the 13th, that sort of thing. And sci-fi horror combined. Aliens, all-time favorite actually has got to be Aliens with Sigourney Weaver. What is my last name? My last name is Snipe. So snipe is actually a bird. It's a type of game bird. And the reason why they call a sniper is because the snipe is a bird that is very difficult to shoot. So if you can shoot a snipe, it means that you're an excellent shot. So that's where that term sniper comes from. Do I like anime? I have not watched anime for years. Back when I was in uni, I used to watch those Studio Ghibli films. Forgive me if I've mispronounced that. Like Spirited Away and Howl's Moving Castle, those films, which I enjoyed. Yeah. How to get the schwa? We'll talk about this when I do the when we do a lesson on the schwa, live stream on schwa. So either next week or the week after, we'll see. Then we can practice this. Between Spain and England, which one has the best weather? I like it hot, so hands down, Spain. When you say hands down, this is like saying 100%. So hands down, Spain, no question. Because I like it sunny, although it's not sunny today. It's miserable, wet, and horrible. Haven't seen that one. This one. The Tale of Princess Kaguya, is that correct? Oh, yes, for sure. For sure. I think there have been a number of films that imitated Battle Royale's plot since then, but none of them do it as well as the original. Yeah, horror, it's not for everyone. My mum can't watch horror. Am I an atheist? Yeah, I don't generally like to talk so much about my religious beliefs. Same as politics, I prefer to keep them to myself. But yeah, I was raised Christian. I went to church every week. My family are Christian. If I had to identify with any religion, it would be that. But I'm not practicing. So I'd say that I'm more agnostic, which agnostic is sort of when someone is kind of not convinced, I guess. It doesn't know. Does not know. But no, I'm not an atheist. I believe that there is something. Any movie at all. I watched a good film the other day with Tom Hanks. It was a man called Otto. If you haven't seen it, watch it. Very good. I enjoyed it. It's not my favorite film, though. My favorite film, which I've mentioned on here a number of times, is favorite film of all time, The Big Lebowski, with Jeff Bridges, Steve Buscemi, and John Goodman. I think it's amazing. It makes me laugh every time. I watched it for the first time with my brother when we were at uni, and yeah, I love it. Alive, dead, or sick? Yeah, I'm not going to answer that one. Do I watch football? No. I watch the World Cup. Apart from that, I don't. Abby, yes, you're too late. Well, I've been going on for a while now, so I think I'll probably wrap it up. And I'm going to crack on, which is phrasal verb, crack on with, which means to sort of crack on, start, really. Start or resume. I'm going to crack on with this. I've been working on this. In case you don't know, I started a second YouTube channel, which is called Classics with M, where I read classic literature, because I get a lot of comments from people saying that they find my voice relaxing. So, and I just recorded a story for that channel, for Classics with M, and so I'm editing that at the moment. Dan, British people don't have hair on their legs, is it right? No, that's not right. Of course we have hair on our legs. Women shave it off. So do some men, actually, nowadays. And in Spain as well. I remember, actually, when I worked in an academy teaching Spanish teenagers, and one of my students, I'll never forget, it was hilarious. He said that he shaved his legs, and then he showed me his shaved legs, and I was like, oh, okay, that's nice. Personally, I prefer a man with hair to a shaved man. That's just my opinion. Like, yeah, like my ex, when we met, he used to shave his chest, and I said, no, don't do that. Don't do that. Leave it. So I do read philosophical stuff, yes. Well, Abby, they're not going anywhere. That's the beauty of them. So whenever you have time. Yeah, well, because they shave it. They have hair, but they shave it. Yeah. Yes, classic literature. The one I did today was really good, I think. Not that my reading of it was really good. The story was really good. So it's what's it called? The Lady or the Tiger. So I'll be posting that one this weekend. A lot of personal questions there. Yeah, my number of past boyfriends I'm not going to share on the internet. A literature club on Patreon. That's a good idea. Yeah. I'll think about doing that. Cool. Eugene, yeah. A lot of people find that. It doesn't affect my ability to sleep, fortunately. I find the news more disturbing than horror films most of the time. So it can be rather depressing, can't it? Especially with everything going on in the world right now, all the wars and whatnot. So if anything was going to affect my sleep, it would be that. Oh dear. Gotta earn a living somehow. Oh God, I just got my tax bill for this quarter. Got to pay the tax man a load of money in the next couple of weeks. What a lovely present for me for Easter. Right. I'm going to stop there. So have a lovely afternoon, and thank you. Thank you for your interest. Thank you for your interest in me and my life. And no, I'm not from Oxford. I'm from Hampshire, which is south of London. Cool. I've actually never been to Oxford, would you believe? Anyway, thank you guys. Have a wonderful afternoon, wonderful rest of the day, and I'll see you again soon. Cherry, you're very welcome. Bye.